republic for which it stands.
One nation, under God.
Indivisible.
With liberty and justice for all.
Guns, self-defense, concealed carry. This is the Patriot Defense Podcast. From the War Room in Idaho's high desert, here's your host, Todd Echols.
And I am back. Once again, I am tucked away in the war room somewhere in the high desert of southern Idaho. And honestly, tucked away in the war room is where I have been pretty much since we last talked. We've gone through Christmas now. We've gone through New Year's. And I tell you what, where I am here in southern Idaho, winter has begun. Winter has unleashed, for us, it has unleashed a snowpocalypse. We have had snow and we have had wind and cold, and I think this morning when I woke up, it was like -10 out. Cold. And where I am located, where my property, where my house, or my range and my classroom is located, I have a half-mile long driveway, and I have pretty much been snowed in all week. I haven't left a whole lot. Just kind of been here, kind of doing some odds and ends. And that's pretty much it. There's not a whole lot of new stuff going on, really. I tend to take a week from Christmas to New Year's, and I kind of like step back a little bit and take a break from the news and just kind of do my own thing. I've been spending a lot of time out here organizing my brass and kind of getting ready to possibly start reloading again a little bit. And got some really cool new organization bins, and I've got a lot of brass, people. I've got a lot of brass I've got brass that I have cleaned and prepped, and even calibers that I don't load, cleaned and prepped that I don't even load, and I've got buckets of it that I forgot I even had, that I forgot I even got ready. I've got buckets and buckets and buckets and buckets of brass. So yeah, I've kind of been doing some little bit of organizing. Now, we have had this snowstorm, and we have had cold weather, and I have yet to clean my guns. I know I need to get after it, but I have yet to clean my guns. This is something that I need to get on top of. Winter is here. It's time to get it done. So I've spent a lot of time moving snow. In fact, a little story here, I actually just emptied my range of a bunch of snow. I had to go out and buy a snow blower. I get drifted in so bad I had to buy a snow blower to remove the snow off of my range. While I was using said snow blower, I decided I'd use it up on my parking area a little bit too, and I ended up shooting a rock right through the window of my kid's vehicle. So I've been talking about buying a new gun. That might be on the back burner. I had to buy a snowblower and replace a window. And I've spent more money in the last week than I did for Christmas and for New Year's, right? I need to, the warm weather needs to get back, and I need to get busy again so I'm not left at home to my own devices because bad things happen. I did spend a little time in my holster room today. Now, for those that don't know, last year I bought a bunch of equipment. I was kind of venture into the world of holster making, and I struggled with it. I struggled with figuring exactly how to do it. I was having some problems, and today I kind of made my first almost successful holster, and I'm kind of proud of it. So I'm going to keep going down the road and making some more holsters for me and trying to perfect this. And once I get it up and running, I will go public with it. I guess I am going public with it on the podcast. But once I think my holsters are fit for human consumption, I will let everybody know. But it's just kind of a learning process. So, and I've decided that with the new year, that this year is, I won't say the make it or break it year, but this year has to work. This year, it has to work better than last year. I had a great first year with Patriot Defense when I went full time for the first year with my full time gig. I did great. My numbers were great. At the end of the year, my sales were higher than they ever have been. The best year I've ever had. And then COVID hit. Well, COVID had hit, but I was really busy during COVID. But then the year after, which would have been this summer, I was the slowest I've ever been. I think it's due to people traveling. I'm not sure, but my COVID was this summer, right? My COVID, whatever. My what are the words what's the word I'm looking for here? My downfall from COVID was this year. And it's probably one of the slower years that I've had. So I need to make this work. And as I'm going forward into the new year, I've already got in contact with TPC, and I'm getting a date. I got a month for them. I think they're going to be down here in May is what we're shooting for. TPC is a Tactical Performance Center out of Utah. They came up this year. They put on a great 3-day class, and they used my range. And I believe they're going to come back in May. I'm just trying to get a date dialed in. They'll be back this year for another class here. And I've also been, let me look here, see if I've got an exact date, but I have also been talking with a gentleman from ETA Firearms out of Arizona, and I think that they are going to try to possibly come up in June and teach a class up here as well. So I'm starting to host some other instructors, bring some other instructors into the area, which I think is going to be a lot of fun, and kind of have some partnerships there. So I'm hoping that this year is going to be a better year, a good year. 2020 was pretty dang good for me. It wasn't good for most people, but it was good for me. 2021 last year, not so much. I mean, there was a few times where I was, wondering if maybe I should go get a day job again. A lot of long talks with my wife, and I ended up finding a deal where I could make a little extra money and still keep Patriot Defense up and going. And it's one of those things where I am determined not to actually have to go work for someone again. I do not want a boss again. I want to stay my own boss, and I want to, kind of hold the course and really put some more time and some effort into this and see what I can make Patriot Defense become. I do not want to have to kick it. I'll never shut Patriot Defense down, but I do not want to kick it to the sideline again and just have it be a side gig. I really don't. I want to get so busy with Patriot Defense that I can't even find time to do, that I can't even find time to go to the gym, or that I can't even find time to run. And I like to run so much that would be absolutely horrible that I couldn't run. And it would take a lot to make it so I couldn't run. But I want to be so busy with Patriot Defense that I don't have time for that, honestly. I want to make this thing work. I want to have a good year. I'm really excited about the year and everything that's coming up. I do want to thank everyone for all the support and stuff I've received in the past. It's that time of year where I always do this. And I am thankful, even though I kind of struggled this year, I got through this year because there was people who had enough trust to come and they learn firearms from me, learn how to shoot from me. They put their trust in me, and they listened to me, and they gave me a chance, and they came to learn. And I can't pay you folks back enough. I can't pay, even if you just listen to this podcast, because I know there's a lot of people that listen to this podcast who are not local. And you know what? If you listen to the podcast and you've sent me a comment, or you just download this podcast and have supported me, I appreciate that so much. That's what helps keep this thing going. That's what helps keep the podcast. It's what helps keeps me fired up. It's what helps keep my business running. And I really, really do appreciate it, and it humbles me that people are willing to put enough faith and trust into me to help teach them how to shoot, how to be able to defend themselves. It's very humbling, and I appreciate it all. As I go forward here, I want to, it's going to be a good year. We just got to get through the snow. We got to get through the snow. We have this snow right here, right now, and it is absolutely horrible. And I actually had a class last week, and these ladies were coming to take the class. And I kept texting them. I was like, man, I don't even know if you can get down my driveway. I don't know if it's really cold. The range is full of snow, and they're like, you know what? And we're going to come anyway, and we'll tell you what we want you to do, or we'll tell you what we want to do for class. And so they showed up, and they've taken lots of classes with me. In fact, I think I'm their sole firearms instructor, which I'm honored. And they showed up and they got some holsters, and I was helping them figure out their holsters and helping kind of talk about different ways they can carry and help them. We went online and I helped them find some triggers for their Glocks that they had, and they got them ordered, and they're actually due back. They're due back this week, and I think I can get on the range now. I spent 2 days removing snow from the range, all 4.5 foot of it, but I think we're going to hopefully install some triggers. Hopefully work with the shooting simulator. Because that would be great. I think they can work with that and learn how that works for drawing and shooting. And so that's what we're going to work with when they come back this week. So there's a lot I can do without my range. It is brutally cold out there right now. I mean, you go out there, you pick up a gun, and I know it's brutally cold out there because I've been out removing snow, but I also had a good friend of mine, her and her husband stopped by today. She had bought a new gun that she wanted to shoot, and she got it for Christmas. Her kids and her husband bought it for her, and she's super excited to shoot it. And so she showed up with it, and we actually went out there for about 15 minutes, and we shot guns, and it was, I think with the wind chill factor, it was probably like 5 or 6 below, just brutal out there. You would take your gloves off, shoot your gun, set it down, put your gloves on, warm up your hands again. That's what it was. But, we didn't really have a class. We were just out there shooting, and we were having a good time. But I do want to talk about the gun that she bought, or the gun that she got for Christmas. It was a Smith & Wesson 2.0 compact. Nice gun. It wasn't the Shield, and it wasn't the full size. It was the compact, which honestly, it kind of intrigues me a little bit. I shot it a couple rounds, and it shot just like my full size. Right, just like my full size, has a nice, decent trigger in it. It could always be improved on, obviously, but it had a nice trigger, and I enjoyed that. I did enjoy it, and so that one intrigues me a little bit. I'm not a Smith & Wesson hater by any means. I've got their full size 2.0, and their compact is just the same thing, just a little bit smaller. So that size kind of intrigues me a little bit. In fact, I don't even know. I'm still fighting with this decision of should I buy a new gun. And I've gotten lots of suggestions. I've got people that have talked to me about buying a 9mm carbine. Even though I like 9mm carbines. They're fun. I've had people offer to let me borrow, and I've got to respond to this person, and I apologize. They texted me, and I still haven't responded to them. But I have people that have talked to me about trying their Beretta. They bought a new Beretta, and they offered it up for me to use. They're local, and I do appreciate that. And I might be getting in touch with you on that because I'm willing to try a few different firearms. I've gone and looked at the gun counters, and I've looked at there's a new one. I forget what it's called. Shadow. It's like a Shadow Systems. It's not a CZ, like Shadow Systems. It's kind of like a Glock. I've looked at that. I'm not super impressed with that. But I've had a lot of people give lots. James jumped on, and he's a listener, and he talked about all kinds of 1911s, and that's just because he knows I dislike 1911s. But he threw out his suggestions, and I do appreciate that. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. Part of me actually wants to do something that is, I don't know why I want to do this, but I have a G19. And it's okay. I don't hate it, but it's a Glock, right? It's a Glock. That's all there is. It's a Glock. But part of me is like, maybe I should just soup that up. Maybe I should put a Timney trigger in that, or put a new trigger on it. Maybe I should get that cut and slam a red dot on that thing. Maybe that's what I should do. Maybe I should work towards making the guns that I have, the guns that I, make them better to shoot, more fun to shoot, more accurate, that kind of stuff. Maybe I should make a Gucci Glock. Oh God, I don't want to say Gucci Glock, but maybe I should make a Gucci Glock or something kind of like that. That's a thought too. I don't know. I don't know what I should do. We'll see. But I got lots of stuff to do coming up. I've got to send out an email to all the people that signed up for my women's shooting academies, the Beginners Academy and the Advanced Academy. I'm looking forward immensely to those, and I'm looking forward to getting everyone getting started with that. We do that in February. Got to send out that welcome email here in the next couple days. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm just looking forward to everything we got coming up. It's going to be a good year. I can feel it. It's going to be a fantastic year. And I look forward to the snow going away so I can get some more shooting in. It's not that I can't shoot in the snow, but I don't want to go stand in knee-deep snow and shoot. That's freaking miserable. So we need to get some warm weather back. We need the moisture. God knows we need the moisture, but we need it in the form of rain and not snow. I'm not a huge snow fan, and every year that I get older, the less and less I want to deal with the snow. So just one of those things. I'm trying to think of what else we had to talk about here. So I don't have, let me pull this up here. You guys, it's just me today, obviously. So you guys get to deal with me not being prepared and me looking stuff up. So I'm looking up a story about that girl that was in the dressing room and was shot by police fire. Let me look this up here. Pull it up. Okay, here we go. Pull this article. Okay, I talked about this news story a while back. This is in Los Angeles, I believe. It says, parents of girl shot dead in dressing room by Los Angeles police call for justice. The parents of a girl killed in a clothing store dressing room by a Los Angeles police officer's stray bullet last week called for justice. The day after police released video showing the chaotic moments that led to the fatal shooting, the 14-year-old girl was inadvertently shot dead in a North Hollywood store on December 23rd when a police officer opened fire on a man who was bludgeoning another shopper after accosting and menacing several others. The suspect was killed, but police said one round from the officer's rifle apparently pierced the wall of a fitting room where the girl was hiding out of view, with her mother striking the teenager in the chest. The girl, who had been shopping for a dress, died instantly in her mother's arms. I'm looking here. See the girl's father. It says it was like my whole heart has been ripped out of my body. We want justice for our daughter. We want justice for our daughter. Let me see here. The parents and their lawyers did not specify how they would like justice to be served. The parents described their daughter as an exceptional student who aspired to become an engineer. So I'm not looking here. I'm trying to see what is going to happen. It says the officer who fired the shots has been placed on administrative leave pending the investigation. And honestly, and I've went over this before. I know I have, but this actually just piques my interest, right? I support law enforcement. There's a lot of good law enforcement out there. They need to be held to the same standards as we do when we carry a firearm. They are responsible for every round that leaves your gun. You are responsible for every round that leaves your firearm. Okay, that is, one of the safety rules. Always know your target, what is beyond, in front of, and around. That is the safety rule. So if you were in a self-defense, scenario, shooting situation, whatever, and you fired a round and you stopped the threat, and you fired another round and you missed, and it hit someone else and took a life, you would be responsible for that. And I certainly think that this officer needs to be responsible for that as well. Yes, there was a threat. Yes, they were engaging a threat, but you need to be aware of your surroundings. And I really hope that officer is held responsible. I'm not trying to be a bad guy, whether they go to prison or not, whatever, that's for the court to decide, but they took a life. That should be involuntary manslaughter. Right? Involuntary manslaughter. You didn't mean to, but it happened. And I kind of hope it goes down that way. They need to be treated just like we're treated, right? So that brings up to the fact that these things happen. I'm going to say accidents happen. That was an accident, but they've got to be held responsible for it. That brings up the fact that, hey, look, if you're going to carry a gun, and I'm not just talking law enforcement, I'm talking you as a civilian, as well as law enforcement. You need to go out and train. You need to go out and train. You need to practice, right? You are gonna, you're gonna pull 80% of your shots in a defensive situation, defensive scenario. Train. Okay, when you're in a defensive encounter, you're gonna shoot like what is it? I forget what they say, but you're gonna I already said you're gonna pull like 80% of your shots, but you're gonna fight like you train. You know what I'm saying? So you need to be good. You need to be accurate. You need to try to look for perfection in all things. Aim small, miss small. We want to minimize the rounds that miss. Self-defense is all about rounds downrange and on target, right? How many can you get downrange and what? On target, okay? When your adrenaline is pumping through your veins, your heart rate is up, you're going to pull, you can pull some shots. We want to train to avoid that, okay? But it does happen. And if I were in town and I had to defend myself and I hit a civilian and took their lives, I'm responsible for that. That's the way that's going to go. And I know I've repeated myself numerous times, but I can't stress this enough. There's a lot of people that think they can go take a firearm, they can just carry it around, and legally in a constitutional carry state, they sure can. And they don't pay attention to anything. They think that maybe they're above the law, or they don't pay attention to the laws, or they don't know the laws, or they think that just because I have a firearm, I can go in there guns a-blazing, excuse the pun, but guns a-blazing, and I can be a hero. I can stop the shooter. I can do this. I can do that. Well, I guess you can, but there's stuff you need to think about. And unless you go out and get training or take a class or something, right? Sometimes you don't know these things. You need someone to point them out to you. You can't just never shoot a gun and carry a gun. It's not the responsible thing to do. And you need to be responsible, and you need to feel that weight of responsibility that you owe to yourself and others around you to go out and do this correctly, right, and be responsible in carrying a firearm. And the same way with law enforcement. Do they need more training? Yes. A lot of times are they underfunded and maybe they don't get the training they need? Yes. Are some law enforcement gun people? Yes. Do they go out and get extra training, some of them, because they want to on their own dime? Yes. Are there some of them that aren't gun people and that are just there for a paycheck? Yes. Are there some that carry a gun and they think they're elitist and better than everyone else? Yes. Okay. So they need to train too. They need to train as well. And we need to get rid of bad law enforcement. And this guy wasn't a bad law enforcement officer. I'm pretty sure it just happened. But they need to be held responsible for it. So that's kind of where I stand on that. Now I'm looking up here. Excuse me. I just so you know, I had a podcast kind of set up tonight where I was going to have Mo. I don't know if you remember Mo. She is called into the podcast before, and she lives over by Boston, over in Massachusetts, and she has had she's come on here. She's new, and she is new to shooting and new to firearms, and she's learning, and she's trying to become a instructor in Massachusetts. And she was going to come on today and tell us about her journey and kind of what she had to go through in the classes that she's having to take. And then I was going to have her do something really cool and actually ask me questions, because nobody asks me questions, right? I ask a lot of questions of a lot of other people, but no one asked me questions. She was going to essentially interview me, but she got a hold of me today. We scheduled that at 3:00 this afternoon, and she was not feeling well. And so, I told her, hey, to take it, your health is more important than my silly podcast. You go get some rest, and hopefully in the next couple weeks, she can come back on and she can interview me. I thought that might be interesting for everyone to take a listen to that, something a little bit different. And I am trying to pull this up. My internet service is not great. I tell you what, if you guys want to see the pictures of all the snow that I had on my range, go look on the Patriot Defense Facebook page, and you can check all that out. Here we go. The Savage Arms has just released its first handgun, a micro 9mm pistol. And so I I'm intrigued by it. I don't know that I'm going to run out and buy it. I would love to see one come through class. This is what it says. It says, Savage Arms launched its first concealed carry handgun in a century. It's called the Stance. Designed as a micro-compact 9mm, this handgun marks Savage's return to concealed carry and self-defense, and the company promises it will be the first of a complete family of handguns from Savage. Since Savage was sold in July 2019, they stated that they wanted to be a complete firearm company. Today, Savage is proud to announce its first step into that, which is the largest segment of the firearms market, with the introduction of the Stance, a micro-compact 9mm pistol. So, interesting little gun. Now, I'd like to see how it stacks up to other little guns of its size. They're calling it a Micro 9. I don't have it. Actually, I have a picture of it, but I don't have the gun itself in front of me. So I'm interested to get my hands on one and see how it stacks up to like the SIG P365 or the Shield Plus or what other guns we have in those sizes. But those kind of guns. It says it features. Let's see. It includes two 18-degree interchangeable back straps to adjust grip size. Okay, so it's on par with that. Ambidextrous magazine release and slide catch. Okay, stippling grip texture for this 360 degrees secure fit with finger indexing. So there you go. It's jumped on that as well. Stainless steel slide with melanite finish. Beveled slide for front easy holstering. So it's nothing too out of the ordinary. Short, crisp trigger with short reset and well-rounded face. I'd like to feel the trigger and see what... I know they've got some nice triggers in like my Savage rifles that I have. I'd really like to know what their trigger feels like in their handgun. 3.2-inch stainless steel barrel. Removal. We already talked about removable chassis for interchangeable grips. Easy takedown levering. No trigger pull or tool needed for disassembly. That's nice. No trigger pull needed to release the slide. A lot of them don't do that anymore. Snag-free functional sights. Includes two magazines, ambidextrous manual safety, and a night sight. Models available. So it says ambidextrous manual safety. So I wonder if that means you can get it without the safety. That would be nice. I don't like manual safeties on my concealed carry handguns. Magazine capacity from 7, 8, or 10 round versions available. Package options include Viridian E-Series Red Laser. Says MSRP for this is $479. So let me look at this. I'm going to pull this picture up a little closer if I can. It does not look like it is cut for a optic. It's not optic ready. It's not cut for a red dot. I think that's, well, what they're going to do, I think it's a bad choice personally, but what they're going to do is they're going to come out in maybe 6 months or another year. Their next version is going to be optic ready. I guarantee it. That's what they're going to do. That's just exactly what Taurus did. They came out what they considered was their micro 9mm pistol that the Taurus, I don't know what it's called, Taurus, yeah, I don't know, X4X or whatever the freak they're calling that little micro gun they came out with the regular one that wasn't cut for a red dot. I get so flustered on here, by the way, sometimes, and it's not even live. I don't know why. I get nervous. I get flustered and I forget things, but they came out with that little tiny Taurus 9mm and it wasn't cut for a red dot. And then like 3 months later, they came out with it. All of a sudden, bam, it's cut for a red dot. So that's how they get that gun into more hands, right? Get you to buy the first one. Then they sell you another one that's cut for a red dot. That's what they do. That's how they roll. So I'd be really interested in taking a look at this gun. It is Savage. I like their rifles. So I'm a little hesitant on pistols. I mean, is this like that whole little, when Remington came out with that stupid little handgun, is it like that all over again? I don't know. We'll see. I'd love to get my hands on one, check it out. I want to feel what that trigger feels like. And then if you've bought one, I have my doubts, but I don't know. If you have bought one, let me know. I'd love to hear a range report on it. I tell you what, call and get a hold of me, and I'll get you on the show, and you can tell us all about your little range report on your Savage. Maybe you picked one up for Christmas. I don't know. If you do want to get a hold of the show, you can call me. You can text me anytime. Area code 620-794-6223. That's area code 620-794-6223. Anytime, about anything. Maybe you think you have a gun that I should try, or a suggestion for me. Maybe you got a story you want to tell on the show. On the podcast, we can definitely get you on live. We can pre-record it. Whatever you want, we can do it. I do appreciate your support. Always appreciate your support. And if you want to share this with your family and friends and get other people to subscribe to the podcast, it is free, right? It is free. I would appreciate that as well. If you want to sign up for Patreon, that would be absolutely fantastic. I do appreciate the patrons have signed up. I know I just had a well, let me look here. Where's it at? We had, I can't find it now. Dang it. We had, I believe, my buddy Paul signed up for it. Paul Carr signed up as a patron. With his $5 pledge there. I do appreciate that. And we also have Bill White. Bill White signed up with his pledge on Patreon, and I appreciate that as well. So hooray for you guys, or hooray for us. Help me build the Patreon community. That would be phenomenal. I will get some more videos out. I've spent a lot of time moving snow this week. It's literally been wake up, spend 5 hours moving snow, go in, eat dinner, go to bed, wake up. The wind blows at night. Wake up, get up, go out, and do it again. So I need to get some more videos up, and we have to have our drawing, because if you signed up for to be a Patreon member, you get put in that drawing for that Patriots membership over at Front Sight, and I will draw for that. So that drawing, that raffle is over. You have been entered into it, and I will, in the next day or two, I will go ahead and I will draw a winner and announce the winner online, announce the winner on Patreon, and figure out how to get you that membership. So I look forward to that, but I do appreciate your support there, and it's not too late. It's too late for the raffle, but you can always jump on Patreon and sign up. I'll leave the link in the show notes. And I tell you what, everyone have a great week, and I'm looking forward to a fantastic year. Lots of stuff in store, lots of stuff in plans. I'm planning lots of stuff. I can't even freaking talk today. I'm sure glad the holidays are over. I love Christmas and I love New Year's, but honestly, I'm just can't wait for them just to get over with so I can get back to normal, because this is weird. I don't even really know what day it is today. I think it's Sunday. Is it Sunday? I think it's Sunday. So we're just going to go with that. But I tell you what, everyone have a great year. And if it is Sunday, you'll be going back to work tomorrow. So enjoy. And, little shout out here. I believe I'm going to be gone this next weekend. So there will be no podcast. And I'm just kind of taking a refresher with the wife and the kids. And we're going to be doing a little traveling. So I will be on the road during the time I normally do the podcast. So I'll get you guys one when I get back. Once again, you can always get a hold of me. Call me, text me, area code 620-794-6223. And I will see you guys in a couple weeks. Thanks, and bye.